Welcome, everybody. This is the Enough to Keep Going podcast, episode number 10. I'm your host, Osiris Prime. Yes, I'm finally back. It's been, 2 weeks now, I think? Seems like a lot longer. But we're recording on Tuesday today. So, and it is August 22nd. We're moving up here one day, and I'll get to that in a little bit here. But first, I'm going to introduce to my co-host here, Mr. DBQ Hams. DB, it's been a long time since I think we've been on the podcast together.
It has been a long time. I was out and then you were out. This is the end of summer vacation time, so it's good to be back together. But I'm looking at your tagline here, and no SNES Classic for you, along with millions of other people as things got again botched in the rollout of pre-orders. Right? Nintendo was so great about saying it's coming, and then it all just trickles out at random times. And yeah, it's. Anyhow, but I'm glad to not be talking about that tonight. So
that's right. We'll just leave it up to my tagline there, and that's it.
So what are we talking about tonight, Prime?
Well, so as usual, we'll go through our playlists and we'll go through our topic of the week, which we'll get to here in a second. Well, we're going to talk about Gamescom, which is starting up this week, or I think Monday, actually. Maybe even today was the official day, I think. I think they usually have like the press stuff at first, and then they go through the public days. But first up, a little business. I want to talk about the network. Like I mentioned, we're on Tuesday now. Mondays wasn't going to work for a couple of us here, actually the two of us, really. So everybody was gracious enough to actually move it up a day so we can all do it. We can all be on. This is our core show, so we all kind of want to be on it, or at least three of us. Unfortunately, today there's only two of us. Zeus is taking much needed break. He's been on the podcast, I think, since we started here, actually, at least on the Enough to Keep Going network here. And then Swiss Guard's off too. He's got just some issues, or not issues, but some things to take care of. But he's doing good. So we're gonna do Tuesdays now. Thursday's still gonna be our new show. That'll come up this Thursday, and hopefully every Thursday after that. And then of course we have the Dark Matters, Dark Hypothesis show on Wednesdays, I believe at 8, I think. Eastern, or maybe that's 9 Eastern. I don't know. I can't remember. But so we're gonna do that, and then one more thing I just want to say was you guys did a great job these last couple weeks. I wish I could have been on some of those shows, especially the core show. Just when you're talking about the topic, you had some good topics that you guys were talking about. And one thing I was disappointed on though, DB, you and Swiss Guard, the same show, no nerdiness. Come on.
Oh, I know. Well, you weren't there to bring it out of us. We were trying to be all buttoned up with Zeus on the podcast, keep it straight and narrow. So, no, we almost had plenty of opportunities. I think I don't know. There was a little bit of Picard talk. There was some
I think the last one. Yeah,
Star Trek conversations in there. So it wasn't quite at the normal level of nerdiness that I may bring, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities to make up for that.
That's right. We'll rectify that. Maybe I don't know about this show, but maybe the next show. We'll see. We'll see when we get more people on here to get nerdy here. But yeah, and I think Swiss Guard, he hosted, I believe, last Thursday on the new show. I don't know if you got a chance to see that.
But I did not. No,
yeah, he was hosting. So
nice. That's great.
So he did a really good job. So it's very good. But yeah, let's get going with the episode here. We'll start off with our topic of the week, and like I said, we're going to talk about Gamescom. And then maybe we'll go into the state of the Xbox, kind of go into the holiday and early 2018, just kind of see, what they got going on or what's going to happen with the Xbox. We had some delays, so another delay that came up, and we'll talk about that. But I'm going to kick it over to you for Gamescom. Any good news that you saw coming out these last couple of days so far?
So, yeah, I think there's a couple of things. This was not quite the E3 level that Gamescom has tried to be at some points in time. It's also, there's been times when Gamescom has been a lot of new trailers and new demos, kind of showing how games have progressed since E3. We did get some new trailers. We got a Destiny 2 launch trailer. We got a whole lot more of Assassin's Creed Origins. But we got a lot of gameplay of things that we knew about. I think the things that we didn't know about are kind of fun. Biomutant, right? This is by Just Cause developers. It's an action RPG with some type of kung fu cat rabbit, almost like a Rocket Raccoon type of looking thing. Variety of characters, looks kind of, it's a new IP. Not really sure what to expect, but I think the fact that it's not just X sequel, or licensed property makes it a little more interesting to me. It's something that I don't really know a lot about in terms of what it's going to end up being, but it's nice to see people kind of flex their creative muscle and see what they can come up with. So, I think that is something that was interesting to me. I think the other piece that my son and I were just talking about yesterday was the Jurassic Park announcement, right? Jurassic Park, basically Jurassic Park Tycoon, or the park builder. It's made by the roller coaster, the new developers, not Roller Coaster Tycoon, but the
Zoo
uh,
Tycoon.
no, it's on PC. It's a roller coaster sim and park building. I'll have to look it up here as we're talking.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's made by them, and again, not a game coming out this fall, but a kind of a surprise announcement. I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense to have something come out with the new Jurassic Park coming out next summer, but the idea of it being a park builder, there was 16-bit games and old PC games that were Jurassic Park builders back in the original Jurassic Park. So, it'd be kind of fun and interesting to see what that ends up being like. Roller Coaster Tycoon. So I'm gonna dig around there. I think there's some other announcements, right? Nintendo
Yep.
had some in the last couple of days. You were, uh, as a Switch owner now, anything there that got you interested and excited?
Well, yeah, there's a few news tidbits that came out, and part of me here, I'm actually working off my Surface and my PC at the same time because I couldn't get the links transferred over fast enough. But yeah, we have some Splatoon news. They have some free content coming up soon. They didn't. I don't think they gave a release date yet. No, not for. There's a new map coming out, Manta Maria, which is joining the Turf War and ranked battle stages. Actually coming this weekend. And then new Lost Outpost, Outpost stage, which is going to be in the rotation for Salmon Run. Which I don't know. Have you got the chance to play Salmon Run at all? I know those times are like weird because they just throw it up there for like an hour or two or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know my son has played it a little bit, but not a whole lot. So no, I have not got a chance to play some Salmon
Okay.
Run.
Yeah, I played it a few times. I think mostly on the weekends. I think maybe once during the week when I was at work, I was playing during lunch. See, you can take it on the go. You can play it a lot.
There you go.
Playing that a lot, the Switch. But yeah, it's actually pretty fun.
On
It's kind
lunch, sure.
it was
On
lunch.
lunch.
It was lunch. I might have taken, maybe a little bit longer than I should have, but that's all right. Anyway, yeah, kind of like a horde mode almost. I believe.
Yep, it is very much like a horde mode.
Yeah, but it's pretty fun. A little bit variant on other horde modes where you gotta kind of pick up things and get them back to like the central location and stuff like that. But so we got a new map for that, and then let's see what else we got. A new weapon, the Bubble Blower, which would be available September 1st, I believe. It looks like here, and the Forge Splattershot Pro. I'm not sure what that is. Splattershot, is that the sniper, the Splattershot?
Yes, I think so. No, I'm not sure.
I can't remember right now.
Tend to know.
But,
so,
yeah.
And then over in arms, we get a punch a clown. Is that right?
Yes, we get a new character coming out. Another free update, which is good. There's a lot of free updates. It's just I shouldn't say it's surprising. I mean, they're usually pretty good with that stuff. So, the street performer Lola Pop. A well-traveled clown, according to this article, with a personality as colorful as her clothing. So that's nice. So some of her abilities, she can inflate her body to like a balloon, and I guess that gives her some more defensive capabilities or ups her defense, basically. And then there's going to be 3 new arm stages that they're going to come out also, and they don't say when, unfortunately, for the arm stuff. And
I think that's early September.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but yeah, so some ARM and Splatoon news, and then the last bit of news was about the Super NES Classic. They just announced that there's a rewind feature basically in the game, and you can depending on the game, you can you might be able to go back 30 seconds or a minute, or it depends on what the game you're playing. So kind of a neat feature, I guess, if you screw up on something and you want to rewind and start over. So I guess.
Yeah, it's a great feature. I have it. The Disney Afternoon Collection by Capcom this spring had it. To be able in like DuckTales and Rescue Rangers to rewind a little bit, and that was a very beneficial piece.
Nice, cool.
Yeah. So Nintendo, and we also had some Sony news, right? We got some new trailers a little bit with Destiny 2. Again, not a Sony game, but definitely has some deep pockets there for some extra content. Shamu 3, right? We actually got a trailer for this Kickstarted game that Sony announced back on their platform at E3 3 years ago, 4 years ago at this stage, 2014 maybe. It has a real trailer. It's still looking to come out, and there was news the other week, as talked about, right, that it's got a publisher now as well. And as although Zeus is not here, there is a GT Sport console that is coming out, a silver and black Gran Turismo PlayStation console that is coming out as well.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be happy about that.
Yeah, I mean he'll be happy. At least the fact that the game is coming out is is probably just enough right there. So did you get a chance to see any of the EA news coming out? I watched a little bit of the live stream with some Star Wars Battlefront space battles, which looked pretty fluid, pretty interesting. I didn't know that it needed to go on as long as it did, but I liked what I saw.
I did not get to see the any of the press conference. I did see the trailer for the space battles, and I'm having some problems here with my one machine here, so I lost all my
Okay, well, I'll keep
my
going then.
tabs. Go ahead while I try to
The
get this
next
back.
news is so big, I know that you haven't forgot about it, but Cats and Dogs expansion is coming to Sims 4. So, finally, you can have your fake human have a fake pet. Very important. Top billing at a press conference. No, sarcasm aside, the one announcement that I was really interested in at the EA one was what they were going to do with Battlefront or Battlefield, right? Not Battlefront so much because we know what's coming there, but with Battlefield. At E3, they had talked about that they were going to do some type of competitive mode. They talked about it in terms of getting into potentially even some esports. And so, but they didn't really say what was coming, and so now we got some more details there. This is a 5-on-5 incursion mode where there's going to be some different classes, four different types of player classes. Some of them are different than what is in the regular big team battles that Battlefield is known for. So it'll be interesting to see what that ends up looking like in terms of each class has a role to play similar to as the 4 standard classes do, but a little more diversity there. I'd be really interested to see what that looks like and how sweaty it ends up getting and challenging, or but again, it's going to have some tanks, it's going to have some vehicles, it's still going to have, they're trying to figure out how to capture that Battlefield feel within a little more fast-paced and a little more stream-ready type of competition. So, that was interesting. But the thing I'm excited for as a season pass owner for Battlefield 1 is the Revolution content. Right, the newest set of the expansion pass that's coming out, Revolution, set in Russia during the winter, and it's also going to give us some of their Russian female soldiers for the first time in Battlefield history. That players will be able to choose to play as a female, as a couple another class that's coming as well. So I think that's a neat addition there, and kind of helps, another I don't know if it's, should we really pat publishers on the back for being gender inclusive at this stage, but between the NBA, the WNBA, and now Battlefield here, it definitely seems like EA is at least being intentional about what they're trying to put out, and aware that people that are playing their games are not who are stereotypically seen as gamers, who are even represented on this podcast, that it's good for them. So there, I'm off my soapbox, but we've talked about Sony, we've talked about Nintendo. We have the one that led off the show was Microsoft, and so Microsoft used this as a platform for lots of announcements. It seemed like a lot more than the other two publishers, and even the third-party publishers didn't. A lot of what we got were things that we knew about. In the Xbox case, we got some things that were leaked. We got some things we knew about, but we got some more details as well.
Yeah, but actually, before we get to the Xbox, they did mention one game which I was actually kind of surprised about was Age of Empires 4. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yes, I did see that. Yep, that it is a real game coming, and not just the HD version that they had talked about before. So,
Yeah. Did you
yeah,
play the previous games?
I played Age of Empires 2 way back in the day. It was probably one of the few real-time strategy games that I actually played. So, yeah. So that was kind of caught me by surprise, but it's seems like it makes sense. They've got that IP sitting on their shelves, and they're definitely trying to figure out what they do with the IPs that they have. So nice to see them try to go back and do something with it.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I kind of just saw the headlines and I read some articles here and there. But was that coming to consoles too, or to the Xbox too, or was that just PC? Or did they not mention anything?
Oh, now you're gonna make me check, aren't you? No,
Just trying to see, but
it does not say. I mean, there is a trailer out there. So Age of Empires 4, it's company here. It's Relic who's doing it, who's Company of Heroes. So it's coming from a good pedigree.
yeah.
But no, unfortunately, I do not know if it's going to be any type of cross-play or cross-buy type of thing.
Okay. All right, so let's jump to the Xbox news here. So I guess that kind of the big thing was their special edition Project Scorpio version of the Xbox One X. Is that making you? Did you pre-order that, DB? Did you get that?
So I will say that I looked at the pre-order, and the console looks pretty, right? I mean, it looks nice. It's sleek, it's slick. The Xbox X. It looks like an Xbox. It's gonna, it looks really nice. No, I did not pre-order it.
No.
I fought the temptation to put down $500. As somebody who does not own a 4K TV, it was a little easier to do that. But the allure of the new definitely was tempting. So we got that the Xbox, the Scorpio edition, which again it kind of went up, sold out. Everything went relatively smoothly. But they also had the Minecraft skin version. This one is just an
Yes.
Xbox S, but I think it's pretty creative. I think it's a nice, and I won't take credit for this. I heard this on on an IGN podcast, right? This is a nice kind of subtle way for Microsoft to remind people that they own this brand, and it gets it out there in a nice way, right? This is the box is skinned as the landscape, right? You've got grass on the top and some dirt underneath, and even you've got some red glowing lights in it for some redstone, and then you've got a creeper as a controller. It's just kind of fun, creative. I could see that you put these two together on a shelf at the holiday time, and you've got a very kid-friendly box, and that no matter what price they sell it at is going to seem like a bargain compared to the Xbox One X. So I think that that's a nice announcement there. I think the other piece that was talked about, again, I think another nice get for Xbox this fall is the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, right? PUBG has been a big game on the PC scene over the course of the summer, really been popular in the live stream aspects. And so having Xbox be the publisher of it for consoles, at least at this stage, is a big get for them.
Yeah, I think they just announced like 8 million, I think, or 10 million players, or it's been bought. I think sold, something like that.
Yeah. Yep. And this is it's a paid game in early access. So they're doing pretty well for themselves as an Arma mod and team developer that's putting this together. So.
That's coming. Oh, is that coming for a game preview? I believe, right? First on
Yes, and
Xbox.
that's part of the rationale that they were able to provide in terms of why it's only coming out on Xbox right now is that Sony does not have a preview program or an early access program, and because Xbox does, it allows them to release it in that capacity, even as they're continuing to not treat it as a full release product and are modding, are continuing to update and patch it as as releases come forward. So that piece, a nice PC get for Xbox. Rare was there because this is Europe, and we got some Sea of Thieves conversations, and it is going to support crossplay between PC and Xbox. So I think that's again, not just cross-buy, but cross-play, right? Not only can you buy it once and play it on both platforms, but you'll be able to play with people on either way. So as a game that's multiplayer focused, to me that feels like a good idea. It provides probably a stronger long-term player base by combining those together. Think of other announcements on the Xbox side. Okay, so those are the good ones. So do you have any others that were exciting to you? Or otherwise, I'm going to go into one that I'm personally kind of interested in, but also kind of confused by.
Okay.
So
just two things, quick things. Hopefully, I don't steal your thing here. But there was another. There's going to be a Shadow of War Xbox One S bundle. I don't know if there's going to be anything special with the actual console, but they didn't announce that. Coming up later this year. And the Recore, is that what you're going to talk about?
So Recore.
Go ahead.
So Recore is one of the things I was going to talk about. But there's other things that confuse me about some of their other game announcements. So go ahead and talk about the Recore one, and we'll keep going.
Yeah, so they announced the Recore Definitive Edition that'll be coming out. I didn't say here, but unfortunately,
coming out the end of this month. It is coming out fast and quick. It is $20. It is, if you already own the original game, if you purchased it like I did back last fall, it's a free update for all of us, which I think is a really good gesture for people that got frustrated with that game. People went into it with a lot of promise. People also knew the end game was kind of dragged out for the sake of collectathons. I think one of the big pieces that the definitive edition gets, and this is what was leaked months ago, was that it adds one of the robot partners back into the game. So there were supposed to be 5 robotic helpers throughout the game. There was only 4 in the release product. The posters, even the images on the box, had a 5th helper, had a 5th robot, but it never actually made it into the game. There were areas in the game that were inaccessible without that robot. So whether or not it was supposed to be DLC and they never quite got around to it, the sales numbers weren't strong enough to kind of give them a reason to do DLC. I don't know how, what the backstory here was, or if Microsoft really needed to lock in and push a September release before last year's Forza, and what else did we get last year? Gears of War 4. Maybe that was a piece of it too, that they were kind of locked into their release schedule. I'm not sure. So part of me is really interested in it. I really enjoyed about 4 or 5 hours into the game. Graphics were pretty jaggy, so this is gonna give a good overpass on those. It's gonna, provide some better textures. It's going to push it up to 4K. The bigger question is if it does any other type of balancing pieces in the late game. And maybe by adding in a new area and a new robot, that the kind of having to go back and collect so many other things to get to the final area won't be the same, because you'll have more gameplay opportunities within the narrative of the story versus go back and collect all those hidden ones because we left out 15% of the game. So that's my Recore rant. But as somebody who saw a lot of promise in this game, unfortunately it's kind of probably going to be too little too late for it to be salvageable, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to throw up on Game Pass also, so maybe it'll find legs there.
Yeah, I think that might actually be. It's one of the first, kind of newish updates releases that have come out on Game Pass. Right, we've got, the lot of the Gears and Halo 5, and we've got other bits and pieces, but we haven't really got a new release or a must-have game on Game Pass. I'm not saying that this is going to be a must-have game in Recore, but at least it's something new for people to have access to versus just stuff that's been out on the markets and for sale for quite a while. So if people are interested in Recore, if you want to take if you haven't tried Game Pass already, you still get a 14-day free trial, and that's plenty of time. I sold off my Recore game a while back, actually, in my build up to Switch. But I still have my Recore hat, if you remember back from the Banded Gamers episode, and I've still got a Recore skin sitting on my Xbox controller. So I definitely want to go back and give this a try. But one game that I'm not so sure that I'm going to go back and give a try are some of the Kinect releases that Microsoft talked about as well. Right, so they talked about
I didn't see that. Yeah.
the Pixar Kinect game, Rush, and then there is the Disneyland Adventures, which you might remember from the 360 Kinect days. It had the Disney Castle on it, where you're basically kind of doing a walking tour exploration of Disneyland Park with your also reliable Kinect sensor, and then a Zoo Tycoon re-release as well. So this is where it gets confusing and kind of concerning, is that Recore and these Kinect releases, when their new consoles don't even have a Kinect port in them, I'm not sure, maybe there's a different market in Europe that I'm not catching, and this is why it was held to Gamescom. But I also wonder if this is, with the announcement of Crackdown 3 being delayed, if this is Xbox and Microsoft trying to just put anything into the pipeline to have as things on the shelf for this holiday season.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I did see this. I saw this on a Facebook group. It was just a picture of it. I didn't go through and read the article because I thought they were just like riffing on those games or something. I didn't even notice it was Xbox One. Now that I'm looking at the picture here, I pulled it up just now. That's I, I didn't even know what to say about that. I mean, it's just weird. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Xbox One S and the X also won't have that Connect port. So I mean, I know there's an adapter. You can get an adapter for it, but still, it's just like, what are they thinking here? I mean, I don't understand. Sometimes I just don't understand. Maybe that's just me because I'm not, a game person. I'm not in the business. I'm not a marketing guy. I don't do that. That's not my job. But uh, I just don't get like something like this. And okay, I can understand Crackdown 3 being delayed. Obviously they want to, polish it up, and it is being delayed, a good bit. I mean, not until spring, I believe they said. Um, and that's fine. Delays are fine, as long as they, the end result, is an awesome, or at least a good game, decent game. So I don't know about this. Like I said, this is kind of the first time I heard about it. I did see it, but it's just weird to me now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it probably isn't super costly to go up and remaster those, but I think they've moved so far away from anything Connect at this stage, like you said, with the consoles not even having a port in them, that it just seems strange to catch this. Unless they're going to be some type of bundle that's coming out this holiday, that they're going to target it again at some type of family bundle, or I don't know, but I don't, maybe it's part of what comes up in Game Pass that they're going to be pushing back out Connect games. It feels like, and so maybe this is where we should kind of move into our topic of Xbox for the fall, but it feels like there's not a clear direction of what Xbox is going for this fall, and I don't know that there was even after E3. Definitely the big focus was on the Xbox X, having the best console that was ever created, having the most powerful console that was ever created, maybe not the best, most powerful. Having that as kind of their big push. They did announce at Gamescom that they're going to have over 100 games that are going to be kind of enhanced for 4K resolution, for working with the Xbox X, which is good and great. But my concern is that there's not a whole lot coming out that's unique to Xbox. As someone who was moved toward Xbox because of games like Cuphead, it's finally coming out. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my $20 down, but then the rest of the time I'm looking at my Xbox, and other than Forza, there's nothing else really that is coming that I can't play either on my PC or I can't play on a PlayStation 4. And so, uh, what's the sell here in terms of how they keep a foothold in the holiday sales? Or, what's their Crackdown 3 was going to be their big reason to buy the Xbox X. And is there, other than a really pretty driving game, is there anything else that's going to move the needle for them?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm looking at my list right now, and there's plenty that they got coming out. They got Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, next year.
Wait a minute. That's
Next.
that's Q2
Okay.
2018. All right. Oh,
Yep.
wait. State of Decay.
Okay. Yep. I'm glad to be proven wrong. Keep going.
That's
PlayerUnknown's
Q2.
Battleground.
Actually,
right?
that's Q2 2018 also. State of Decay.
Oh,
Sorry
okay.
about
So
that.
that's
We do have Forza, like you said, or Forza.
yep.
Yeah, how do you say that? How do you say it? Forza or Forza?
I say Forza.
Forza. Okay, I was just wondering.
Forza Motorsports. I truthfully go back and forth. So
Yeah, me too.
Zeus is
But
not here to correct us in our driving etiquette or what wheel and pedals we should be using. So we'll just we'll take the T, we'll drop the T, it'll be okay.
if he's watching right now, or when he watches later, because I know he will, he likes to watch. When he's not on, I'm sure he's face palming right now because
I'm sure of it. Yep.
we do have
He'll just-
Cuphead. That's September 29th.
Yep.
So that's good. And like you said, PUBG's coming. Well, should be coming out. I don't know. Did they give
Yeah. No, it's PUBG's coming out. They're still targeting late this year. So
Okay.
holiday season is still kind of the target there.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if they had put an actual release date since the
No,
last
they
couple
haven't put
days or
an
not.
option. Nope.
Okay. And actually, that's it.
Yeah.
Xbox exclusives. Oh, that's it.
Oh, that's it, right? Yeah.
Crackdown's obviously delayed too. Yeah, I mean, I know they're making.
Oh wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Super Lucky's Tale.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's coming out next month too, or no?
That's coming out
soon, right?
in November.
Oh, November. I thought for some reason it was like the next couple weeks for some reason.
No, that's NAC. That's coming out at the beginning of September.
Okay.
And so I say that with some snark in my voice, but truthfully, you and I are both Nintendo people. The idea of a cutesy 3D platformer for $30, I'm on board for that. That doesn't sound that bad at all. I'm definitely interested in it, but it's, although, okay, so maybe I'm going to pitch this angle, right? So we've got a Minecraft console. We've got some Disney and Pixar adventure games coming. We've got Super Lucky's Tale as a cutesy, 3D platformer. We've got, we've got Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Maybe they grab something there. Is there?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, is there some type of bundle package that they put together this fall that, I definitely think they're going to go at the $199 mark, because even at last Christmas time, they were down in the $225, $250 range. And so, do they make a play for families that had not moved over to this console generation? They get under that magical $200 mark and put together with a Minecraft bundle that, kids younger are going to be interested in.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that Minecraft special edition Xbox One S though, because price tag I thought was a little high, $399 for that. I mean, I get it that it's special edition, it's a skin, more than just a skin. Actually, it looks like they've done a lot to the console, and maybe they have like special like noises and stuff, kind of like the Star Wars one had on the 360, and has like Creeper controller. But I mean, man, $399. I don't know. It just seems kind of pricey for just a special edition. I think it might come with the game too, but I mean, who doesn't have Minecraft already? Come on, they can really like drop that, and they don't even have to give that with that bundle. But yeah, I don't know. As I know they're pushing with the X with Middle Earth: Shadow of War. That's getting a lot of push, and looks like they got a lot of press for or marketing for Assassin's Creed also. I think that debut on E3 on their stage, or was that Ubisoft's?
Ubisoft had it, but Sony, or not Sony, but Microsoft also had a big showing of it. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, they got that. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna lean really heavily on PUBG, which it's gonna be, that's probably a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, even coming into early 2018, I don't know what I mean other than actually I was gonna say State of Decay, but those both that and Sea of Thieves is not until Q2, so I don't even know what they really have coming out the first half there, the first like 3 months or so of 2018. So
Yeah,
a little
I mean,
dicey.
it is. It does feel dicey. It feels like I mean, a relatively weak lineup. Granted, if we did this same thing with Sony, there's not a whole lot there in Sony's portfolio that's coming out this fall that, is gonna, you know, there's a few pieces there, right? I mean, I don't think Knack 2 is gonna set the world on fire for anybody, but they do have GT. There's lots of games that are not coming this fall. With God of War or with Spider-Man, you know, Nino Kune is pushed back.
Yeah, okay. I think they
Um,
had some DLC for Horizon, I believe, coming out.
yeah, no, that came out. Yeah, that's
Or did that
coming
come out
out now.
already?
Yep, or it's coming out this fall, right? It's up in kind of the frozen north area. Yeah, so that looks good. There was just a recent patch as well about putting in an easy kind of story mode aspect. So I don't know that we should really, for as down as I feel about Xbox, it's more about trying to think about where they stake their claim in the market, because I don't know that Sony is, Sony may be trouncing them in numbers, but in terms of releases, their catalog is not all that stronger. There's most things by the nature of development are need to be multiple platforms to be able to recoup some costs. So yeah, and maybe it comes down to the conversation that we've had multiple times of what's going to make somebody choose one platform or the other is really going to be about kind of their social friend base and where people they want to play with are at.
Yeah, but I mean, you kind of mentioned it before about even at E3, they kind of seemed kind of lost. I don't want to say lost, but just like it wasn't like coherent almost. They didn't. They showed a lot of games. I mean, that's good, but I mean, a lot of those now are pushed back and till next year, or some of them have been totally canceled. Like what was the card game? The one that the re-release of that old Xbox original Xbox game that they Phantom Dust. That's what I was trying to think of. They canceled that. They canceled Scalebound. I mean, those are supposed to be. Well, I don't know about so much of Phantom Dust, but Scalebound was supposed to be like this big game. I would assume when it came out during the holiday. So I mean, it's just I just don't know what's going on. I mean, I guess they kind of had to release the Xbox One X. I mean, the X, excuse me, they didn't really probably have a choice for that. They had to release it this holiday season without really a flagship title like Crackdown 3. I mean, they can't really push that back. They've been touting it too much, but I mean, I don't know. I'm still gonna play my Xbox. I mean, other than Nintendo, that's all I have. I'll probably get all the shooters on there like Battlefield and I'm sorry, Battlefront and Call of Duty. I mean, unless they release it on the Switch, which I doubt this year, maybe next year. So I mean, it'll probably still be my console, but I just don't see it. A lot of day one buys coming up in the near future.
Yeah, no, as somebody who actively chose Xbox over PlayStation this console generation up until just the last holiday cycle, I've spent a lot of good gaming hours on the Xbox One, and I think that for a long time it's had a lot to offer. It's had some good variety. It's had things like rare replay, and it also had solid returns of franchises like Gears of War 4. Uh, but I don't know. It feels like in terms of development wise, and maybe they've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, but they're just not ready to talk about it, or it's not far enough along in development. But they don't really have a lot of internal game or even kind of second party studios that are producing a lot for them. Unlike eh, eh, you know unlike at Sony, where they've cultivated those studios over the years. Microsoft has had studios. They had Lionhead, but they shut it down. Right now they've got Rare, they've got 343, they've got Turn 10, and they've got the Coalition, right? And at this stage, each of those kind of has a franchise attached to them. Um, I don't know that there's a whole lot else out there unless they start kind of letting some of those studios, let the coalition do something that's not a Gears of War. Let 343 loose on something that's not Halo or maybe Halo adjacent. I don't know. And maybe it's the nature of how they built that business model of leaning heavily on their big 360 franchises and thinking that those titles would keep them moving forward. But it seems like they're in a similar situation like we talked about with Activision, where Activision's portfolio is getting thinner and thinner without Blizzard or without King. They're a 2-game publisher, 3-game publisher at this stage. So yeah, I'm kind of, I'm not disappointed that Crackdown 3 is delayed because I'd rather have a game come out that's going to be solid and good. But I am kind of disappointed about what the prospects look like for Xbox owners this fall.
Yeah, I mean, there's another game actually that I was just looking at, Ark Survival Evolved, that it got delayed, but only for like a few weeks. It's coming out actually next week. So I mean,
And
that's
that's
something, I
been in
guess.
early access for quite a while, right? You've played
Yeah,
that on Xbox 2 years ago, even. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, not a huge delay, but still, I mean, I don't know if that was. They didn't really say in the article I'm reading right now, and even before when I first saw that announcement, why they did it. Really, they were just kind of apologizing that it happened. So I don't know if that maybe that's part of all this. Maybe they were trying to get as much in that early holiday as they could. So like I said, it's next week, so it's still technically summer. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But well, I think we've whooped
Yeah, I
we put
know.
the whooping down on Xbox long enough here.
Let's move on and talk about something else.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get a little positive here. Let's go with our playlists. You want to jump in there first? Looks like you've played a lot of Madden actually on multiple systems.
Yeah, so I was on the road for a good part of last week, which is why I was out. So 2 weeks ago I was talking about playing the Titanfall mobile game, Titanfall Assault, which the more I play it and the more I talk to my kids who are Clash Royale fans, or at least were at one point. They went through a phase, right? We all go through a phase. But I played it daily for almost 2 weeks, and it kind of hit that spot where I'm just gonna have to keep kind of grinding and feeding cards to get leveled up. I like some of the gameplay loop. The kind of it plays out like a domination or a hardpoint match where you're kind of controlling different spots and then attacking a base. There's the gameplay is actually fun. But I'm as many mobile games as this happens, right? I'm kind of trailing off from it. Which also happened to be right at the same time that Madden on mobile gave a big update and patch for this coming season. So Madden, the game of the greatest of all time, the GOAT edition, comes out today, and Madden 18 for consoles comes out on Friday. But the mobile game came out a week prior, which really was great because it kind of whet my appetite for playing some more Madden. I played a lot being on the road. I played a lot of Madden on mobile, which is kind of, fun and arcadey and lots of little challenges. But then on EA Access members get 10 hours of a trial. So I've had a chance to go in and see what Madden looks like on the Frostbite engine. And after playing
Nice.
multiple days and hours, and even putting some cash into the mobile version, it's a big difference. But I'm still playing the mobile version. It's fun. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah, I had a quick question. So is that
Yeah.
do they like release a new version of the mobile Madden like each year too, as well as the console version?
So I'm gonna say there is an update. Maybe it has a version number on it, but it's still called Madden Mobile.
Okay.
Um, this has been the case. There was a Madden, there was different iterations of Madden that had different numbers to them up until maybe Madden 14, I'm going to say probably, maybe 15, where there was a change. Madden kind of retweaked some things on the mobile platform. I remember playing it on a tablet. Couple years ago at this point, probably 3 or 4 years ago, and the gameplay plays out pretty similarly. You've got some different daily challenges that kind of jump you around to different teams and practice areas, and then you can play through either head-to-head in a quarter by quarter, or you can play against the computer. All of this feels very similar to what it was. I think what gets updated is, they tweak kind of the gameplay loop. They tweak obviously rosters and the type of card packs. There's a whole lot more layers to the card packs and buffs and everything else than there was 4 years ago when I played it, where it was about getting characters and getting players to build up your squad. Now there's also coaches, and there's different training perks and other things. And, like so many other mobile games, you can complete little quests and missions and get 30, 60 credits toward this 1,000 credit thing that you need to buy, right? There's ways to grind on that. So but a lot of it plays out, it plays out really well on the touchscreen. It plays out like a PlayStation 1, very arcadey, kind of not quite as far along as Blitz, but it's very fast moving, very accessible as well. So the difference there of jumping from mobile Madden, where it's just pretty arcadey, and kind of dipping my toes into Madden 18 on Xbox is there's a whole lot more in terms of controls, of stick movement, of strategy that the console versions can give you. So both are fun. Depends on what type of experience you're looking for, but I'm really excited, and I haven't. Madden and Destiny were the games that got me into this generation to make the leap from last generation, and so to see what Madden looks like on the Frostbite engine, which has been beautiful on Battlefront and Battlefield, it's been kind of interesting to see what's possible there. So
Nice.
So there's my are you ready for some football rant? But how about you? It looks like as we've been talking about games like Splatoon and Minecraft, you've got some of those on your playlist as well.
Yeah, so it's been all Switch all the time for this past month, as Swissguard mentioned last week on the show, on the core show. Yeah, I've been playing nothing but the Switch since I got it, pretty much. Bought Minecraft, obviously, because I have it on everything, like I mentioned in the past. Plus, so I play that and play with my son. Another console or machine that we can play on. I bought Infinite Mini Golf, which is there's basically, you can create your own tracks, and you can download them, and just anybody can create them. So hence the name. So you got all kinds of courses. There's I guess you can call it single player mode, like a story mode. Not really a story mode, but you can kind of pick between like tournaments and just kind of going through the tracks, or through the courses and stuff. So that's cool. You can try them out. And they do have, during the single player mode, when you're doing tournaments, you can unlock like outfits for your player and stuff like that. So I mean, it's fine. It's no big deal, but it's fun. I like the mini golf kind of the play, and there's power ups and stuff that you can do. You can have like big jumps, like there's a gap and there's a ramp, so you can like jump over that gap or go all the way around. So, or just like a turbo type of a rocket icon that can shoot you up a kind of like a spiral ramp that goes up. So it's cool. It's really it's different. Obviously, it's nothing like Splatoon or Minecraft and stuff like that. So it's fun. And then I am playing Splatoon 2. I'm having fun with that. Been playing a little bit of the story mode. I'm probably like just past like the tutorial stage or level, a little bit into the next level, and then playing a lot of Turf War and like I mentioned before, the Salmon Run, which is pretty fun.
So did you play the story mode of the first game on Wii U?
No, I never actually played it on the Wii U at all.
Okay.
Other than just like demos in stores and stuff like that. So
okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first single player stuff in it. Pretty experimental and creative in terms of platforming. It sounds like the story mode does a lot of that well again here.
Yeah. So you haven't touched it at all then
I haven't. No, I have not. My son's finished the story mode. He's been playing online. But I have not got a chance to get it out of his hands yet. So
Yeah, so I have fun with that. And the I think they've only done well, I think they've done 2 Splatfests so far. I missed the first one. I think that was when it launched. And if you don't know what that is, they have a question: are you team, like the last one they did was mayonnaise or ketchup? So, and then you pick a side, and then you go in and you fight in the turf war, and whoever has, well, actually I guess there's a bunch of different factors on whoever wins at the end of the Splatfest. So just the first part where you pick a side, that's one area, and then when you're doing the turf war, whoever has the most wins at the end of the session, which I can't remember. I don't know if it's like a weekend or a week that the Splatfests run. I don't remember if you ever did those at all, DB.
it's usually just a weekend that it
Okay.
launches over a weekend. Sometimes it's only 2 days. It's a very isolated and focused time to be able to funnel people in and through.
Okay. So yeah, so it's the popularity, and then whoever wins, and there's a third thing I think that they factored in. I can't remember what it is right now, but I guess there's a big hubbub because the popular vote was one thing last time, but it got trounced by whatever the other 2 factors were. So
Yeah, this was the ketchup versus mayo
yeah,
Splatfest, where mayo won, but ketchup was the dominant popular vote there. Mayo won the percentages of wins or other types of factors that they had versus just simply the quantity of players playing.
yeah. So I guess the one of the gripes was that since ketchup was so large, that a lot of people when they go into the matches, it was just ketchup versus ketchup. So, and I guess that didn't count for anything. So I guess that was one of the big gripes. But that's whatever. It's just a game. So
So, and then the newest one is, what's the newest choice between?
it's superpowers, I
Yes,
believe.
flight versus invisibility.
Yeah.
That is our choice here.
But is that actually running now, or
No, it looks like it's coming on.
maybe this weekend?
Yeah, I'm trying to look here, but rather than stumble around and look, go ahead and keep going. I'll jump in when I find out when.
Yeah, so I don't know about in the first game on the Wii U one. Like when you're in the beginning when you start up the game, um, were you in that little hub world like that in the Wii U version
Yes,
also?
yep.
Okay,
You always
I was
had
just wondering.
a space to kind of go around and explore, and you'd go in and out of different stores. It's bigger this time. There's more stores and stands. There's more options there, but yes, it's set up in a similar fashion.
Okay, I was just wondering, just because you see like other players and stuff too, and their little notes and whatnot. So I just didn't know if it was like that. And then the last one, of course, Zelda. I bought that and basically been playing Zelda and Splatoon 2 the majority of my playtime. So uh,
So how
and
far are you in Zelda? I think we really will come a time when, since all 4 of us have been playing Breath of the Wild, we probably should talk about it a little bit more. But I'm
yeah,
curious how far you are.
um, I've I wouldn't even know how to even explain how far I am. So I got off the Great Plateau, obviously, and I'm going across the worlds. I'm at the point where this is probably still pretty early, where they give you I think it's like 4 or 5 spots where you have to either free or awaken the guardians or something
Yep.
like that.
Yeah, you've got the Great Beast type of thing.
Yeah, the Great Beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I had just gotten that not too long ago. I think sometime last week, and I've just been exploring now. I'm just going through and traveling the world, doing shrines and just fighting enemies and stuff like that. So as
Yep.
far as like the main quest, that's as far as I'm at right now. So
Yeah, it definitely scratches that kind of exploration itch for me, where I can just kind of see something over on the side and just kind of wonder, try to figure out how to get there. Can I glide there? How do I climb?
yeah,
You know,
and
gotta.
I've been bumping up my stamina, and that might have been a mistake though. Now that I'm kind of exploring the world, so
Yeah, no, I get hit and die pretty quickly, but I can sure climb for a long time. Yeah.
that's right. So and besides that, what was I? I was gonna say something. Oh, I think I have unlocked all I forgot the little like tablet thing, whatever you use now. I
Yep, the
forgot the
different
name.
powers on your Sheikah
Yeah,
Slate.
I think
Yeah.
I've unlocked all of those now because I did this last one where it was like I think it's a camera. You can take a picture.
Yep, for the
And
memories. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm assuming that's the last one. I don't know, or that's all of them. I've got the
I think
freeze
so.
one, the magnets, and the metal. You can move around metal stuff. So
Those are all the ones I have as
the
well.
bombs. Yeah. So
And
I
the
think
amiibo support.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Good.
yeah, but I'm having a lot of fun with that game. So
Yeah, very fun. So,
yeah, but
well, sir, anything else on your playlist or for tonight?
nope, that was it for the playlist. Like I said, the next one that's coming out is what the Mario and Rabbids. I think I might pick that one up. It looks interesting, so we'll see. I know it's kind of I've heard a lot of that. It's XCOM-y, and I've only played a little bit of that on the 360 on the backwards compatible. I think it was the first one that got released on the consoles. So it seemed all right. It seemed cool, but with the Mario and Rabbids theme, I might get into it a little bit more. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it looks really fun, but I'm a Fire Emblem person, and so I'd like some uh, strategy action as well.
Yeah, and then I think the next one is the Pokken game that's coming out. I think they're
Yes,
releasing a
and that
demo for that.
Pokken demo comes out tomorrow, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah, I'll have to download
or
that.
not, but Thursday this week, whenever the update. Right, Thursdays are the Nintendo updates.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So, nope, that's about it. Any last words on anything or plugs for anything?
No, I think the big change is the change in nights, moving off of Mondays into Tuesdays. That will still be our topic show, and sometimes our topics will be tight and focused, and sometimes we'll ramble and navel gaze, but hopefully not be too depressing about the state of any one council or the other. And Thursdays will be our quick and fast lightning news show. So it's good to keep the network up and moving, and I think we've got a lot to talk about and some good perspectives here from the four of us. And anybody else that's interested in coming on board.
Yeah. We gotta get positive here now in these next few shows. It's kind of been Debbie Downer lately, but that's fine. Sometimes we got to do that. Yeah, we'll break it down and bring it back up. So that's fine. So yeah, like you mentioned, like DB mentioned, Tuesdays is our show now. So come back next week for that. Wednesdays is once again Dark Hypothesis, the Dark Matters show with Zeus and Dave, and then Thursdays is our new show E2KG and 30, which we should have one this week, I believe, and that's about it. So on behalf of myself, Osiris Prime, and Mr. DBQ Hams, we will see you next time.